Good morning, everybody, and a very warm welcome to Ask the Accountant, episode number 104. The date is the 28th of October, 2024, and I'm here, as always, my co-host, Johann. Johann, how has your week been?
Good, so good, yes. It's a busy week. I did our first office visit for Engager. Went to go and see some users, get loads of feedback, really valuable. Really enjoyed that. And it was only a short trip across the Forth over to Dalgety Bay, down to Durham tomorrow to go and see some users down in Durham. But yeah, not a bad week at all. And sat and watched the F1 and watched Max finally get his comeuppance for being Max. 20-second penalty, that will teach him. I mean, personally, I think he should be banned for the rest of the year for his antics, but never mind. But yeah, it was a good week all in all. How was yours?
Yeah, very good, thank you. Very good. Good to see you getting out and about with Engager. That's only going to bring quality going forward. And there's you kind of, if you think about your Engager crew, they're all around the UK, right? So I know you're saying it's what you're looking for, a 2-hour window around.
Yeah, so we've all basically said within 2 hours train trip or car drive of where we are basically located. So 2 hours within like Hastings, 2 hours within Brighton, 2 hours within Tamworth, 2 hours within Edinburgh, etc. So yeah, but it's all dependent on people's
Liverpool
there. Would you send Andy anywhere? But yeah, you've got 2 hours.
Pescatarian,
But yeah, we've got 2 hours range. It's just down to who's got time in their diaries and stuff. And at the moment, I've got a bit of availability on my diary each week to be able to go and do a trip each week. So that's nice.
Nice. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. And you're getting it, like you've already said, valuable feedback from it. Love that. I had a quieter week, very quiet week, which is what I needed. Not going to London, although I'm London this week, not having to go doing all that sort of stuff. So yeah, but it was still 12-hour days and etc. So working back on the practice, getting that sort of stuff done, all the good stuff that comes with it, trying our best to get ready for like the January madness, right? Like trying to get on top of that as much as we can. So yeah, all good stuff. More importantly than what we did this week, though, what did our community do? We've already got people signing up. We've got Dave there. Good morning, Dave, hopefully, and only a couple of weeks now to ICB, so looking forward to seeing you there. Susan Jacks there. Good morning to Susan. Good morning to Louise Moore. Good morning to Kirsty. She's not even only saying good morning to us, but good morning to everyone else. So say good morning to Kirsty back. Go on, give her some love. Sue's there. Good morning, Sue. Good morning, guys. On time this week. Yep. This is the first one that you've done for a while that you've been in on time. So, it's like the penalties. We don't have to keep adding them on like we do with Max, right? We can wipe the slate clean now and everyone's happy. Good morning. Happy budget week. Oh, you've stolen our funder there, Paul. We're going to do a bit of a talk about the budget in not too distant time. Marcus is here. Good morning, Marcus. Hopefully you are well. And Stephanie's here as well. Good morning, guys. If you haven't watched it, go and watch her latest Free Biz podcast episode because we were there. I was there giving my little interpretation of. Yeah, exactly. I was there giving my interpretation of what I think personal branding's all about. So
you've missed Cheryl at the top as well.
Oh, Cheryl's there as well. Good morning, Cheryl. How are you? Oh, I did forget one thing I did this week. Did you manage to watch my little video in a scare maze, John? What did you think to it?
I got bored after 15 seconds of cringeworthiness and turned it off. I'm sorry. It was horrific.
That's a bit harsh. I've put my heart and soul into that.
All of those videos that came out from that were just. I don't know why QB thought that was a good way to spend their money, but I'd be wanting a refund.
It was good. Like, I don't know. In our industry, we are doing just the same because there's another really good activation coming that me and a few others did. I can't say too much because it's still I think it's still NDA'd. But yeah, there was a activation we did not so long ago where we kind of tried to do a bit of a there's a whole new social platform being announced for it all, and that was a really good fun something a bit different, something a bit more, still a bit of education, but more like trying to be good for the industry, right? And I do think that for our industry, like, remember, we're trying to find a way to make it more appealing to be in the accounting industry.
That
I
is
do.
not it.
So I don't know.
You're not going to show those videos to a group of school kids for them, and they go, you know what? I want to go to the accounting and bookkeeping industry when I go to university. No, completely.
I don't know. I mean, the idea is to make it more fun, right? And like give us some, and it's all Halloween based, so it's timely and everything else.
Organised fun, though, isn't it? It's cringeworthy at best, and we all know I do not do organised fun.
Oh, I know, but yeah, I think it's gone down really well. I think it was a change of pace, put it that way, and the whole of recording it and everything else was completely different to what we've ever done. So we learned a lot, like how to do those sort of events. So I don't know. I thought it was something a bit different and something a bit unique.
Doesn't always make it right.
Well, yeah, there is that. I mean, Xero could have done it just as equally as scarily by showing their bank reconciliation process, right? That could have absolutely dominated the scary season. All they need to do is do a walkthrough of how they reconcile a bank, and they would have scared many people off. So yeah, it's good to see. The QuickBooks don't need to use their product to scare people off. Kirsty says it was a good episode. Oh no, sorry. Dave, first of all, said it was a great episode, so he got in there first. Kirsty said it was a good episode, and then and this talking about Stephanie as well. And it was a change from everything we usually see in the industry, but it's definitely not for me. I'm a scaredy cat. I obviously came out of there looking like roses and didn't scream once, so that was all good to see, right? Marcus says,
I heard that was a bit of editing. Edited prerogative, wasn't it?
I don't want to. Thankfully, they weren't recording the very last bit, so that's all good. Marcus says, "Haha, need to set up a surprise escape route from Johann at Labs." I know, right? There's a organised fun over the road. I think we need to get him over there. We can set him up. It's called like Escape Labs or something like that. So it's fitting, right?
This could be the end of a beautiful partnership and podcast here. That's how seriously I take organised fun being awful.
You've still not got over throwing some axes, have you? That's
no.
You still wake up in the middle of the night with sweat dripping down your face.
I mean, that's more so because they haven't confirmed if they are or aren't pressing criminal charges.
There's only one person you threw the axe at. I mean, they didn't specify which way you had to throw the axe.
Upset.
Oh dear. Right, okay, let's get on with the news, because we've got some tasty bits of news to talk about. First of all, I think this is a bit of a controversial one, but Tide has gone and got themselves an acquisition. They've gone and acquired a company called OnFolk. OnFolk is basically then going to be changed to Tide Payroll, which is focus on SMEs and being able to provide payroll directly in the Tide platform. Now, we've talked about this before, right? And we've spoke about how Tide, Starling, Revolut, they're all trying to create their own FMS platform. Yeah.
I'm sure they tried launching a payroll product before.
They probably have, but this is them going, right, let's do it properly by actually buying and acquiring one that's already there.
That's a strong statement.
Well,
I wouldn't say buying another software that does it and plugging it in is doing it properly, because
apparently OnFolk is a leading HMRC recognized payroll solution. So you don't get, it's hard to become a leading HMRC recognized payroll solution, isn't it, these days?
Without us knowing about it, yeah. And we don't know about it.
Exactly. Oh, I just don't know. Do we want clients? Because I wouldn't mind about these FMS solutions. We've had this conversation many times, right? These FMS solutions that they're building within the banking app seems like a good idea. Like from a consumer point of view, great idea. Like especially if they just want to do their own accounts, bookkeeping, whatever, crack on with it. Doing it in their bank account is probably the best place to do it. You're not going to miss a transaction, right? Because it's built directly in. You'd imagine it'll reconcile better than Xero would. So that's a good thing, right? So there's lots of positives to doing it. But why are they so like that? Their whole focus is do not let the accountant touch this. Do not let the accountant in. Where's this partnership of Tide and Starling and Revolut working with the accountant to say, right, we're going to offer this solution to your client. Here's your access to it. So you can go in there and grab some stuff if they do have an accountant. Like all that sort of stuff's missing. And I just imagine they're going to do exactly the same with this payroll. So clients are going to go ahead. They're going to run their payroll. When they hit a brick wall, which hopefully they don't, but let's be honest, payroll's a complicated beast. It's going to happen at some point. They're going to reach out to an accountant. And the first thing the accountant's going to do and say, can't help you, mate, because I can't get involved. I can't see this transactions. I can't go into the software.
I can guarantee you, like, if they do go to an accountant and go, made a mess, and we go, right, we need these reports so we can get you set up and running on our software to get you, I guarantee you, Tide won't be able to generate those reports for you.
You'd not expect it. I mean, we had one this week. Thanks to my QuickBooks channel, as soon as someone has a QuickBooks payroll problem, they get in contact and we kind of come to the rescue sort of thing. But that's us going into the product we know and love, the QuickBooks payroll product, go in there, whatever. But even that has been an absolute nightmare. Like the problems and the issues are so complicated. Normally, there's normally something's gone catastrophically wrong is what's normally happened. That's why they've reached out to you, right? This isn't just a simple fix. And if we can't get into the software, we cannot help that client at all. You're right. We could transfer it to another platform, but that causes issues. And then there's all problems. And
HMRC can't handle that because they'll think you've got a second job. So
exactly. Suddenly the tax codes are all being issued and everyone's getting the wrong tax code. It becomes an absolute mess. So,
but on top of that, is this system going to tell the employer whether they're paying minimum wage or not? Is this system going to tell the employer that, you technically need to be auto-enrolled now? Like, there's so many considerations when it comes to these things.
Yep.
And, like, we get it all the time. I'm sure you do. Like, you pay someone a bonus and or someone works a ton of overtime in one pay period and they get absolutely rinsed by tax. The employer's going to be like going, I don't know. They're going to look foolish, like, because the system's not going to tell them why. Whereas when they've got an accountant or a bookkeeper, they go, oh, what's this? And we can explain it. We can explain, look, it's going to average out. It's okay. But just having software is not going to do that.
Yeah. I mean, we'll talk about it later, but I suppose the only shining light is with the budget. There's probably small businesses aren't going to be able to bring on new staff soon anyway. So
you can't afford employees anyway.
Yeah,
you'll be fine.
So, that might be a blessing in disguise, just not for the local economy. I just don't know. It's one of those where payroll is the bit that the clients are scared about the most, right? Like their fear factors so much. And I'm all up for clients doing their own anything. I've built a whole channel on it, right? I want them to do self-assessment. They don't always need an accountant there. But when it comes to payroll, that's the bit where you go, please get someone to do that properly for you. Please, let's get this right. Let's make sure the pension's right. I mean, I'm a qualified accountant, right? Even I got my BOFIX payroll pension thing wrong for 1 month in the year, right? I relied too heavily on the software. Software got it completely wrong. And, I didn't find it until a month later. That's someone's pensions that I could have completely messed up. Yeah. And
this is ultimately, it's judging whether you're paying each person in the right amount of money. That's food on that family's table.
Yeah, exactly.
Payroll is the one thing that always keeps me up at night.
Yeah.
And it's the one thing that I know we could miss an accounts deadline. We could miss a VAT deadline. We could miss whatever. And it'd be, it's okay. You miss payroll, you mess up payroll once. That is that client relationship on the line.
Yeah, 100%.
Because it makes the employer look bad, which makes to the employees, and it makes us look bad to the employer. Like it's potentially catastrophic. It's really emotionally charged as a service. You cannot get it wrong.
And as Stephanie says, payroll is probably one of the most complicated aspects when considering annual leave, maternity pay, etc. And that's another thing, right? We've been championing for a while now where that's the race to the bottom for accountants to get payroll out there because we want our clients to get it right. So we're in that horrible state of we're using the cheapest software we possibly can to deliver a service. So it's cost effective for our clients. what we really want is a solution that can offer annual leave, HR solutions. That's what we want to be in there. There's no chance this is going to offer anything like that, and it's just we've just made another. Right, well, there's another race to the bottom because you can do your payroll in Tide for whatever the price point's going to be. They're not going to charge too much for this, right? They want people to use it. Stephanie also said, would payroll journals even be accessible? I can't see that happening. I don't know if you've tried any of the FMS solutions built directly in the thing. There's no accounting access. There's no options for us. Then there's Trunk or Tips for Hospitality, which is mindful of their own. Exactly. You'd hope, fingers crossed, that those industries stay away from this, but it's there, right? It's in their app. Like you're making a payment to someone. They're like, well, why don't you use this fancy new payroll solution to do it? Like they're going to be a marketing
ultimately
genius to get this in, right?
When you're a small business owner, regardless of what industry you're in, if what we think is happening in the budget happens and you're getting tighter and tighter on your funds, oh, my bank offers the ability to do payroll. Oh, that'll save me a bit of money from my accountant. I'll use the bank. There'll be no, is this right for me? Is it wrong for me? Will this do everything I need to do? There'll be no understanding of the deeper side of it. It'll just be, oh, that's so we're potentially going into this time where everyone's going to be feeling the pinch even more. So cheaper options will be looked at.
Exactly. Yeah, it's going to be a really tricky one, isn't it? And with payroll getting even more complicated next year with the P11Ds being built directly in and all that sort of stuff, right? Yeah. But that's Tide for you. They've invested. They're going to do that again. If you've got clients on Tide, they're going to be probably pushed to do this because
they are going to get a lot of spammy emails and messages.
Yeah, and it'll be in product, right? Like.
Yep.
Why you bother manually paying your employee? Like, what a waste of your time when you could just pay us X amount and you could do it all automatically. Because in theory, it's a perfect solution, isn't it? It's the match made in heaven. Like, your bank is also generating your payroll. So as soon as it's generated, you just press one button and it will schedule the payment for that day, right? Like, that is a beautiful solution that, as you know, just even for Botfix myself, that would save me X amount of time than having to mess around getting that sorted, right? But still, like, yeah, it's a dangerous time. Kirsty says, yep, and term time working nightmare. I don't really enjoy payroll. I don't know anyone. Well, we're really lucky. We've got a payroll person who loves their payroll and won't give it up. But yeah, I don't think that's very common these days, is it? Okay, speaking about payroll, there's more news in the world of payroll. Free agents had a little update regarding payroll, haven't they? What they've done over in Scotland? What's the update coming to the thing?
So anyone using the free agent payroll product, they will now be able to pull in HMRC updates, so tax code notices, stuff like that. That will be able to then update the payroll information and make sure you're using the right tax codes for employees and stuff. So yeah, just another time saving and efficiency saving exercise there for you. Because it was just a few weeks ago they announced their upcoming integration and partnership with Buddy HR. So when you outgrow the free agent product, then you can go to Buddy HR and there'll be a deep link there to push and pull information and stuff. So it makes it very easy.
Nice. Yeah. And how impressive is their payroll offering at the moment? Is their product, is it user friendly? What was it like?
Very, yeah. I mean, as always with free agent, it's designed with the consumer in mind. So if someone wants to do their own payroll but have an accountant support, it can be done. So yeah, I would say if you're 1 to 5 employees and you haven't got anything overly complex like trunk systems or anything like that, then free agent's absolutely adequate for you with their built-in solution. And then this HMRC bit just helps say it's another efficiency, so everybody's happy. And then once the beautiful part of free agent is they know their limitations and they're very open and public about it. So if you're not sure, you ring them, you ask them payroll, this is what I need. They'll say whether they can or can't do it. So if they can't do it, that's why they have the partnerships with people like Buddy HR, so they can do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, another nice little update from free agent as they keep knocking them out.
Loving that. So, Cheryl asks, does it do CIS?
I know. Oh, am I allowed to say that? I believe CIS. There's a big CIS project in the works at Free Agent. So at the moment, you can do CIS suffered very easily in Free Agent. I believe they're working on the other side of CIS and filing CIS and stuff. So yeah, they've been fairly open about that. So
yeah, it's probably best we move on from that topic. We're always, Steph says we always use Apron for payroll payments for our clients. It works really well, doesn't it? But even Apron's had problems getting those APIs connected and having all those connections that come through. It's a small step, isn't it? But it is something that we definitely would love to see the payroll, because it is the payroll side that is stopping it, right? They don't have those APIs ready and waiting to go. Because they've been burnt in the past. That's what mainly has happened with them. So it'd be good to see that coming through. Good on payroll updates coming through. We got another bit of news coming through. Pipe partners with Go Cardless. So for anyone who doesn't know, Go Cardless is a direct debit solution for SMEs. Makes it really easy for us to set up and get your direct debits all coming from customers. If you're using QuickBooks or Xero, I imagine as an accounting firm, you're looking at Go Cardless as a solution, probably currently. But Pipe coming into it gives the opportunity for capital, getting money, borrowing and everything else coming through. Apparently, they're huge in the US, and this is their first kind of venture into UK properly. Looking exciting. I mean, you'd imagine this is the sort of thing where, I don't know if you get with your Go Cardless moment, but I keep getting emails saying, congratulations, you've got an opportunity to borrow X, Y, Z, blah, blah, blah. I imagine the benefits here is the fact that if you are going to have some repayments, you can have them directly from your Go Cardless.
It's going to be the same as credit card terminal loan. So your credit card provider lends you $5,000 and they'll just take a percentage of every payment until it's paid off plus interest. Exactly. My only cautionary note here is these kind of products tend to be extremely expensive, and whilst in principle it's a good idea, so is an overdraft. Yet we all know how many people end up living in their overdraft. It's one of my many gateway drugs to debt, basically. Like invoice financing, I'm not a fan of, unless it's got a really strategic plan. So you're not just going to spiral into more and more debt. Then just be careful before you understand it all before you recommend anything to your clients when it comes to this stuff.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they're also talking about the fact it could be almost like a factoring type idea for them as well, helping to cover cash flow gaps caused by late payment. So in theory, this is a really, cool little partnership, because let's get the two align. That's a good idea. But yeah, you're right. And it's you need to have that proper consideration, don't you? Can you actually afford it in the long run? Blah, 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 blah. But as a stopgap, maybe this could be a nice little solution for them. So yeah, let's hopefully, fingers crossed. I think Go Cardless, they've grown rapidly over the past couple of years. So this could be another opportunity for them to make a little bit of a USP out of it as well, isn't it? Where they can kind of offer both solutions. So liking that one. All right then. So that's Pipe going with Go Cardless, and the free agent updates coming through, and the Tide acquisition's done. Let's put our attention to a little thing called the budget. So we've not got long to go. We were talking off air, weren't we? How our favourite bit of media coverage at the moment is our Labour about to pull a Liz Truss. We don't think it's going to be that serious, but yeah, let's see how it's going to go. For anyone who doesn't know, I feel like Rachel's put herself. Just Rachel Reeves. Yeah, she's put herself in a little bit of hole, unfortunately, hasn't she? So, basically, she's gone around and said that she won't be tackling, or she won't be upping any of the major taxes. So we're not expecting to see anything to do with income tax, corporation tax, VAT, any of
I'm going
those.
to go back on the corporation tax. I think there's something coming.
Well, she committed that none of those ones.
She could still do that and make a change.
Well, that'd be interesting to see, won't it? But the whole point of this budget is to move it into balance. There's a deficit at the moment, and she wants to make sure that I think there's a 5-year, from the top of my head, she wants to get quote unquote debt free, or at least in proportion of GBT or GDP or something. So there's all that aspect of it. That's what she's telling everyone is what this budget's going to be about. There's talks about HS2 kind of properly coming in, so that's that train link between Birmingham and the UK, like being extended back to Manchester, all that sort of stuff, right? So it should be a very important one. If it's true, maybe it is, maybe it's not, that she can't tax or can't attack the major ones. So we're even talking national insurance, council tax, and business rates. There's not a lot that she can attack, right? There's not many more taxes available, and they
just in reference to corporation tax one.
Go on then.
The reason I think she's going to make a change without being told she's broken a manifesto is currently the top level is 25%.
Yeah.
I think she'll scrap the tapering system for small businesses and put us all on 25%, because then she's not increased our tax, because technically we would have been subject to that if we had any profit high enough.
I mean, you're technically right, but that is that will.
I mean, nothing else she said has been friendly towards small businesses. Why would she leave that there? Like she can't currently even define what a working person is.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Right. Which, to be fair to Rachel and the Labour Party, we had this problem in 2020. Furlough came along, and furlough didn't support directors and stuff because they weren't classed as working people. They were business owners, and they'd been paying less tax and national insurance, whatever they wanted to spin, than a salaried working person. So I would, the debate of what is and isn't a working person hasn't changed. That debate's always been there. What's interesting is the amount of support Labour MPs were giving those movements like Excluded and stuff like that during furlough, saying you should be getting furlough, blah blah blah. And as the moment they're in power, they can't define what a working person is either, and it doesn't seem to include the people that were excluded from furlough. So I think what we class as working people and how our system works is it's pre-1980s, where self-employment and running your own business and stuff just wasn't a thing. And I think
we need our clients.
Yes.
Yeah. That's going to be the problem.
Modernize our interpretation.
I think more than anything, this is going to be a year where we're going to have to explain to our clients in the best possible way what these impacts are, because these are going to be significant impacts to our client, aren't they? We've not really had that major impact. I know bringing in the 25% and, like you said, the taper relief and all that sort of stuff's been a bit of a minefield for clients, and we've had to have conversations, but it wouldn't affect all our clients. It was, the ones who are in a group position or whatever it's going to be, right? Or the ones doing very well and they were going to hit that 25%. For most of our clients, it was a case of, there's been these updates, keep an eye on them. We'll talk about it at our next meeting. There's nothing you need to do now. The fear that we have at the moment is that with these changes coming, there's going to be a lot of knee-jerk reactions happening, isn't there? And that is never good for an economy. Knee-jerk never works, does it?
I've got clients that have refused to recruit, even though they needed to recruit until this budget was done, since May, because they were worried Labour was going to do something stupid with the national living wages and stuff. Which hasn't had any media coverage yet, and I think there might be something coming there. So if you add that on top of the national insurance increases for the employers that we're hearing, everyone seems to think, we just put the living wage up, and that'll help people afford the cost of living. But they forget, well, if I've got to pay more for wages, I put that price on my jars of coffee or whatever I'm selling. Which means the cost of living goes up. It's a circle of spiraling circle of doom. So it's to get the right press headlines can be very short-sighted, shall we say? And I think, put it this way: when they announced this budget, what was it, start September, end of mid-August? On that day they announced it, I blocked out mine and 3 of my lead team diaries completely for Wednesday, because I've not had to do that for years. The last time we blocked out all of our diaries so we could review and understand and prepare to deal with the consequences and to support clients was furlough, when that got announced in 2020. Like, since then, I've never gone, oh crap, it's the budget, everybody get busy, everyone block out your diaries, focus on this. But I'm that convinced that this is going to have so many implications for our clients and have so many questions that we've literally blocked out our diary ready so we can start dealing with this straight away.
Yeah, because you were even away, or not away, but you were, away from the office for one of the budgets, weren't you? When you were at the business show or something?
I was like,
for one of them?
business show and all sorts for the last few years. Like, it's never really been there's a budget there, I need to clear my diary type event. Whereas
this time, you've got to be there, and you've got to be.
I think she's going to do to small businesses what Liz Truss tried to do to individuals.
It's scary, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, I even met Rachel, a month ago, like looked her in the eyes, shook her hands.
This is another point, right? QuickBooks, the champion of small businesses. Like, I think they might get burnt for this association with the Labour Party and stuff. Now, I know they go to all the conferences and
they're not one or the other.
They seem to have been more public about going to the Labour Party.
Yeah.
And it's like, right, we've got this multi-billion-pound company whose representation of small businesses seems to have had absolutely no impact on it. Like,
we'll see. There's definitely stuff in the pipeline that came from that event, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, it's going to be a really tricky, I think, for anyone at the moment, like whoever your political one way, because I don't really have an opinion of which one I would back. It's more which one's going to affect my clients more. But I think more than anything, it's going to be very difficult to. If this goes the way we think it goes for small businesses, we've got to be very careful about your opinions, haven't you? Because this could be a very toxic going forward. Because my part that I don't understand, I know, if you kind of look at it as they're put into in a bit of a a bit of a black hole here because they've got to recoup all this spending deficit, blah 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 blah. Like there's all these reasons for it, right? And the only taxes they can charge are CGT and all the others that are going to affect us. That's fine, and that's a great, boo-hoo sort of thing. But surely going this aggressive, this hard against it, if the rumors are true, is only going to give negativity out there, because all we're going to do is going to say, if you're an entrepreneur in this country, don't don't bother. Either go somewhere else.
You're a working person, so can you go and get a job?
Yeah, exactly. And it doesn't take a genius. Like, they have access to so much data, right? And I know that they request data from the likes of Intuit and Xero and Sage and get that data, and they've got all this wonderful data that they get to look at to make these decisions. Surely they know, and it's not a genius to make this thing that, for every one entrepreneur, that's a huge benefit to a local economy and sometimes national economy, right? Like
yep.
Surely that's not us just fantasizing these numbers to make, give us a job so that we keep getting these new clients coming through. That is hard facts, that the more entrepreneurs we have in our country, the better our country is going to be overall.
Yep.
But suddenly that seems to be that the government don't agree with that, right? Because surely that if they're going to make this big attack, they know what the consequences are going to be. So,
yeah. It's going to be an interesting one. Like you and I were saying off air, this capital gains thing. Like, obviously, you and I we've looked at acquisitions and done acquisitions and stuff in the past. And we've both analysed the industry of the accounting and bookkeeping market. And we both know that when major tax policy changes, such as MTD, come in, we see a surge of people exiting the industry and trying to sell up. because they don't want to have to modernize their processes. They don't want to tackle the change and the complications that come with new tax laws. 26-27, MTD IT, as it is now known, will be potentially going live, assuming we don't hear otherwise tomorrow, on Wednesday. That should be triggering a mass movement in, actually, I'm getting out. But the benefit of that is more and more clients then get a more modern approach and more customer, better levels of service, whatever it is. The problem is, if you scrap the entrepreneur's relief, which one's more painful? Paying 20-24% what tax, what corporation capital gains is on the selling of your shares once we find out on Wednesday, or suffering the MTD change and doing a minimal viable kind of approach to it of, I'll be compliant, but that's the line I'm drawing. So yeah, there's a lot of people that had exiting plans that will be paying huge attention this week to the budget, because it could have a major impact on their affordability to exit.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Oh, the joys. Yeah. I mean, hey, it gives us something to talk about to our client. It gives us an opportunity to have conversations with them again. And, there's that positivity, I suppose. It's one thing the budget always gives, is a reason to talk to your clients again and have conversations with them. But it would just be nice to have a conversation about positivity with them, right? Like, the government are backing you as a small business.
Well done for all your hard work.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Where at the moment, every conversation with him when it comes to budget is, unfortunately, it's not looking good again. The gaps got even tighter. It makes it difficult.
Also, the media is not helping with this, right? And neither are you and me, to be fair, because we're talking about this small employer, this employer's NI increase that could be 2 or 3%. We're not sure. Now, Rachel may well have. We're increasing the employer's national insurance limit percentage, but I'm tripling the small employer's allowance to £15,000 a year.
Yeah,
it could be, or it's only applying if you've got 5 or more or 10 or more employees. The problem is we've only got half the story at the moment, but because that half the story is out there in the media, we're getting constant emails and phone calls from our clients panicking about it. And us going, just wait for the budget, is the right thing to say, but that doesn't stop your clients from losing sleep at night.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurs and business owners are forward planning. They like to know what's happening in the future. So leaving things to the last minute is not their style. And then to have these snippets of news dropped in to really just stir that pot of negativity. But there may well be, we're doing this, but to help small businesses, we're going to do this as well.
Yeah.
Now, if they're going to do that, fantastic. But then they need to control these leaks that are getting out to the media.
Yeah, because the leaks, I mean, even I've personally been affected by leaks. I've sold my rental portfolio because of the leaks and potential of what could happen, all that sort of stuff that comes with it, right? So I'm like, even I'm stoking the fire there, because knee-jerk reaction based on media leaks, right? Like, that's never a good thing to do. But you try, as a entrepreneur, you're trying to be as savvy as you can, right? That's the whole point of it. And
you've got to make an informed decision, even if you've only got half the information.
Exactly.
Do you better gather it all and then make an informed decision and get on with it? Because these things don't happen overnight. Like selling off your rental properties and selling your business. If you've suddenly got a huge tax difference between now and the 6th of April 2025, that's going to be hard work to do that, to shift all of that by the time the new tax rules come in.
And if everyone does it, then the economy suffers from it, right? Like, there's no world where everyone selling their rental property overnight is going to be a good thing. Like, that's never going to, no one's going to benefit from that, right? It's going to be a very, very messy week, I think, unfortunately. But we will see. I mean, maybe they'll reduce the VAT. percentage and also the threshold with it. Maybe that's what's going to happen to, that's a way of not increasing
they've
the
already
VAT.
got the. Well, if you remember when I spoke, when I did a session with Lord Philip Hammond at Accountex in May, he said like no one's the right thing to do would be to slash the VAT threshold to £10,000-15,000 a year, and then anyone over that pays VAT, and in doing that you could slash the VAT rate to 10% and still raise the same revenue.
Maybe not lowest 10. Let's not be crazy.
Well, that's what he said. I mean, he's the guy that used to be in charge, but
I'd imagine 17.5. Let's go back to that. 47.
No one will do that because you'll get massacred in the tabloids. But if you're already being massacred
reducing the VAT rate wouldn't surely that, you know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, it's difficult, right? Like no one envies that position. That is no matter what you do, you're going to get backlash from someone, right? You can't please anyone in this one. I just feel like the attack on the small businesses just get more and more and more deep, and maybe we're over analyzing it, but that's what the UK used to be about, right? That entrepreneurialism and building your own.
I say the other day that they're aiming for these small businesses because there's no like union to represent them. Well, actually, there's like people like the FSB and stuff, but also how much weight are they carrying? It doesn't feel like a lot right now.
No, not at all. Not at all. All right. What time are we on? I think we've got enough time to quickly go through one. We have got a piece of news that is very time sensitive, so we can't talk about it till the very end of the show, but we'll see about
18 minutes, people. 18 minutes.
There's an embargo that we're trying to hit. Sift Analytics got bought.
I'm not under an embargo.
Sift Analytics got bought.
I could leak it right now, and what's the consequences on me?
Sift Analytics got bought out by Xero. Now, is this a good thing? I mean, this is old news at this point, right? We haven't spoken about it properly for many reasons. I think out of all of us, you're the only one really affected. As in we don't use Sift at all, so it doesn't bother us at all. I think from a Xero point of view, a Xero practice is probably going to be a good thing for you later down. I imagine hopefully you get free access to it. Is that maybe too much to ask for? But at least you'll get discounted access. Actually, no, there's Xero. You'll only get discounted access. But
premium, actually.
Probably, yeah. But that's got to be a good thing. Connecting the Xero, because Sift Analytics always worked better with Xero anyway, didn't it? It was a better fit in terms of
only
the API.
Because of the limitations of the QuickBooks API.
APIs, exactly, yeah. So it seems like a good fit here. How do you feel being you've been a Sift user for since day one, was it pretty much? Yeah, I mean, it's been a long time. How do you feel about the future of it? Is this something you're a bit worried about? Do you see this as like Futurely all over again? Because I know there was a lot of people a bit worried about the Futurely Sage, and that seems to be a fine acquisition, right? No one seems to have been too badly affected by that. It's if you were using it beforehand, you're still using it now. I know a lot of Xero practices out there are still happily using Futurely, no problem whatsoever. But what's your thoughts about it? How are you feeling about it?
So I absolutely love Sift Analytics. I love the team behind it. I love their approach to everything. There was none of this fanfare of we're going to have AI, sign up to our beta of AI, join a waiting list for AI for a whole year. And then they release an AI that's crap. I woke up one morning, went into Sift Analytics, and they've got AI. And then later that day, an email came out and some socials came out saying, we've launched AI, it can do all of this good stuff. And it is bloody brilliant. So I was saying to you earlier that I actually covered one of my team members for a few meetings last week for their client meetings. Yeah. Now you think, right, is that an efficient thing to do for me to go into a client meeting where I've got no current relationship with that client? I need to know their financials. I need to be able to answer their questions, and I need to hand back over to that team member for the next meeting in the future. With Sift AI and Microsoft Copilot, it was an absolute breeze. I went into Sift because their pricing is X amount for unlimited businesses. So every single one of our clients is plugged into Sift, whether we use it with them or not. I ran the AI on the last 3 months, 1 month, whatever reports. It came up with the conversation topics for me. I went into that meeting looking completely and utterly informed. That meeting ended. Copilot had been transcribing the whole meeting. It summarized all the notes. It summarized all the action points. I put that onto Client Engager, and I tagged my team member to go, there you go, crack on. So the team member didn't have to brief me or debrief me because of those 2 AI tools. That is how powerful this stuff is and how effective it can be if you use it right. So I absolutely love SIF Analytics and have done for a very long time. I've done some webinars with them, etc. It's a great tool. And it's a tool built with the client in mind. So whether we like it or not, accountants and bookkeepers, your clients do not give a shit about profit and loss and balance sheets. Do not present those in a management report and think you've done your job. You have not. That list of numbers means nothing to them. SIF Analytics puts it all into graphs.
Yeah.
So when we present our management reports, we present 5 key performance indicators in graphs. So we don't look at the profit and loss. We never put a balance sheet in a management account because our clients just don't care. So, and then we always ask them at the end of the meeting, are these 5 key performance areas still concerning you? Oh no, that one doesn't bother me anymore. Right, what does bother you? Let's put that in. We swap it up. SIF makes that so easy, so quick and easy. But then they get acquired by Xero. And I'm very nervous because the pricing works phenomenally well for us.
Yeah.
Like unlimited clients for, I can't remember, what is it, £200-300 a month or something? 250, £300 a month for all the features that we have turned on. Unlimited clients for that, bargain. It means we can do some real value add. And if a client turns around and says, oh, I'm really struggling, can you help at all? I can go, you know what? I can quickly and easily give you some insights. It will take me 5-10 minutes on SIF Analytics to give you some reports, some AI transcriptions and stuff. If you want to go into having meetings and stuff with us, then yes, you need to, that's our time. You need to pay for that. But as a Kickstarter, I can give you this value. If I was using any other reporting tool, it would cost me 40 quid a month just to put them on the bloody thing. Never mind anything else.
Yeah, 100%.
So their pricing is exceptionally un-Xero-like. I know Xero used the word unlimited, but Xero doesn't actually know what that means. So that concerns me that I'm going to see a dramatic change in pricing, which means actually I'm going to have to unplug SIFT and move away.
Yep.
My only bastion of hope at this moment in time is it looks like the whole team at SIFT are staying in place at the moment. And they're so passionate and genuine about their product. I'm confident they will stand up for what they've got and they won't let Xero change it easily. But yeah, like Xero's culture, ethos, etc., feels different to SIF Analytics, and it makes me nervous. I'm not nervous about. I've seen people going, "Oh, well, does that mean they're going to just turn it off for QuickBooks users?" Like, no, Xero's not stupid. It likes money. Like, it's not going to go.
And likes analytics, right? Like,
yeah, like
that's a
sorry,
great
you're
way
using
to
free agent or QuickBooks. No, we're not. You can't plug in anymore. Like that's not a worry for me. My worry is pricing changing and also slowing down the development, because SIF Analytics development rate is, I mean, it's not Engager fast, but it's bloody quick, and it's very responsive to customer feedback. So it's all stuff you wouldn't say Xero is famous for, shall we say. So yeah, I'm nervous, and every day I log in and the pricing's not changed, I take as a bit of a win. But yeah, how long it will stay how it is, I don't know.
My other question is this the right move for Xero to start spending money on acquisitions at this point in time? Haven't they got, you'd imagine, bigger fish to fry at this point? Like, surely acquisitions are always tricky, right? There's a fine line between buying something that's going to, we can argue Sage has probably done some great acquisitions in the past. Like, they've not really had a dud, right? There's definitely arguments that some other solutions out there haven't done quite so good acquisitions. But this one just seems like, from everything we were hearing, Zero were trying to reduce their spend and hunker down, and they feel like they've got a product now that they just need to. They don't need to innovate as much. They just need to like keep maintaining and just small incremental updates to kind of just iron it out. And really, they're proud of their product, and all they really want to do now is get it into more hands. So attack the AUS and all that sort of stuff. That's what, from outside looking in, that's what it felt like, right? Like, so is this the right time then to be buying and acquiring another solution? It doesn't feel like it, does it?
There's two key strategies in this industry to grow, well, technically free, to improve the functionality in your product. One is you build it yourself.
Yeah.
So QuickBooks has done that huge change of reporting. So they've got all these new like widget things coming along, and they've got that oversight board and stuff like that, right? Very SIFT than like
100%
like type thing, right? So they've chosen, they could have brought a software and integrated it, but that's not normally the QuickBooks way. They like to try and build it themselves. Or you buy the software and plug it in and run it. But that takes a lot of time to integrate it all and to make it work properly. And you run the risk of, do I have to turn it off to the general public if they're not a Xero or Sage or QuickBooks or free agent user? Or can we keep one end open and still power the stuff we want in our own product? I mean, the middle ground is you partner with a product, and that gets deeply embedded through APIs into the FMS solution. But that puts the risk there for the FMS solution is, what if that product stops working? What if they develop it in a route they don't like? So for them to be maintaining control of what's being built and developed, they either need to build it themselves, or they need to buy it and plug it in.
Yeah.
And have a controlling stake in it. So yeah, I think it's Xero's attempt to replicate what we've seen QuickBooks trying to do over the last couple of years with the new reporting tool, with the new, what is that tab? Is it oversights or something where you can see
dashboard,
different graphs?
An overview. Yeah.
Like, I'd argue QuickBooks is a long way off being anything viable compared to SIF Analytics. So in theory, Xero, if they can integrate this, they have got the jump on QuickBooks here.
Yeah.
But
I can't imagine they're giving it away for free, right? Like that seems too big an ask.
Don't know. If you're making enough money out of QuickBooks free agent and Sage users using SIFT from that end, and then you offer it to your Xero users for free, that could be a model. Or maybe it is advanced reporting and it's X amount a month to bolt it onto your product practice or something. But yeah, like, it's the Xero way that we, like, QuickBooks are trying to build their accounts and tax return solution themselves. Xero brought that tax software a few years ago to plug in and rebrand to Xero Tax. So acquisitions is Xero's way. Build it yourself is QuickBooks' way. Quite frankly, I don't think either of them do either way successfully. So yeah, just see what happens.
We're going to have to see what happens, aren't we? Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Definitely not the time to jump on board using SIFT, is it? We've got to there's too much uncertainty at the moment. So that's going to be negative.
If you're not using any product at the moment, then yeah, it needs to be a consideration. I'm not worried enough to be jumping to researching new products yet for myself.
Yeah, if you're using it, keep on. But I don't think this is the time to recommend it, right? And jump onto it, because there's too much uncertainty around it. And that's going to be the problem at the moment. And their focus isn't going to be bringing new clients on board at the moment. Their focus is how does integration with Xero work. So you'd imagine there'll be less feature updates at this point in time. You'd imagine that sort of thing is going to, for a time period, there's going to be a downward spiral. So,
I mean, that ultimately breaks my heart, because I've been recommending SIF Analytics for several years, and what they've got, I absolutely love. The team they've got behind it are absolutely phenomenal. But it's one of those,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have sold to them.
Yeah. It's a shame. Okay, cool. So that is Sift Analytics. Let's go for a bit of a technology spin now, right? Let's talk about that for the last 5 minutes before we can talk about the other aspect. We're getting some new Apple products being announced this coming week, aren't we? Like last week we had the iPad Mini. That was great to see for one of us.
Very happy.
It's in hand.
I've literally fallen back in love with the iPad Mini. Between that and Apple Notes, I'm having the time of my life.
Yeah, I can imagine. But M4 Max are supposed to be announced. The problem is, it looks like it's only going to be what do you call it, isn't it? It's only going to be related to a press release, no fancy keynote or anything, which basically means, should we even be that excited about it? Probably not. Even this time last year, we had a M3 Mac event that's all spooky related and everything. It was, and that's what led you to buy yours, right? Like you jumped on board with it, you saw what the power was going to be.
Yeah,
I think every time it's just a press release.
I was on an M1 at the time, which with all the video and stuff, it was struggling at times.
Yeah.
So the M3 made sense, but I don't see how an M4 chip on its own justifies me replacing my M3. Put it that way. If you're still on an Intel device,
100%.
Replace it.
Yeah.
But even on M1, I still recommend the M1 devices to the majority of people. Like accountants and bookkeepers ask me all the time, "Oh, what Apple laptop should I get?" And I always just go, "Just get the M1. Like you'll get a good price, and it is more than adequate to deal with what you're doing in your workload."
Yeah, I think my only thing was this was supposed to be all about AI, wasn't it? Apple Intelligence, pushing it through, which makes me feel like this isn't their jump for AI. Otherwise, they would have done a big song and dance about it. So I imagine that's next year's Mac lineup is going to be some form of AI enhanced chip on it or something, right? To warrant
all the M chips can handle it. AI, like if you've got an M1, you will get Apple Intelligence.
You will.
I think Apple Intelligence actually goes live in the US for public use this week. Apple Intelligence will go live in December for us in the UK. So I'm now testing 18.2, which is UK. So for me to test 18.1, I had to lie to Apple. I had to tell them all my devices were US based. They weren't, but I was now able in 18.2. The UK and several other countries are now on that list. So it works. It's doing very well. 18.2 has got ChatGPT embedded in it, which is just phenomenal. So I was saying to Aaron,
is that your ChatGPT? Are you allowed to log in as you?
Okay, yes. Cool. So you've got two options with this. So you either create a free ChatGPT account, which that adds some value and power.
Yeah.
So if for example, I've got my iPhone 16 Pro. If I press my side button here and press and hold it, it will then open the live view and I can ask it, what is this? And stuff like that. Now, with ChatGPT plugged in, that's what powers that. Yeah. However, if you've got a paid for ChatGPT account and you plug that in and you link that, it then knows about you. So the free account doesn't have any memory. It doesn't know. You're starting afresh every new conversation, every new question you ask, you start afresh. But because I pay for ChatGPT and that's linked now to Siri, Siri now knows everything about me. It knows Amazing. I run an accounting firm. It knows I run Engager. It knows all of the information that I've got in my ultimate pricing guide, for example, because I use ChatGPT to proofread it and stuff, and ChatGPT has memorized all of that. So it's becoming that second brain for me. But you'll only get that if you pay the £20 a month ChatGPT subscription. If you don't want that, you can just use
that makes it worthwhile, right? If it's actually embedded on your device.
So to give you an idea, right? Last week, I used the voice recording voice notes on my phone or on my tablet to record a meeting. It transcribed it. I then went to the writing tools on Apple Notes where the transcription was saved and said, can you summarize this and pull out any action points? Done. So the Claude Note device, redundant. ChatGPT, redundant. Copilot in Microsoft still has its place because it handles team meetings better than a phone can. But yeah, like it's going to Sherlock a lot of products.
That's the problem, isn't it? Yeah. Well, a good problem to have. Like you've already said, Grammarly's thing of the past for you, right? That's been yeah.
I've not used Grammarly in 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
Which has been a slight challenge with my phone's thinking I'm in the US because there's a lot of Zs in places that shouldn't be Zs.
Yeah,
but,
definitely. But that's going to come with time, isn't it? So yeah. I mean, I'm excited for maybe the Mac Mini redesign. That could be something
that looks quite cool if it's as small as they say it's going to be. But again, when you've got an M3 MacBook Pro that plugs into a dock, do you really need the Mac Mini
so much
as well?
More useful having a laptop, isn't it? It's just you get the extra screen, you can take it with you. It just makes it very much thing. Okay, right. So we're past the 9:30. We can now talk about our little bit that we were talking about. So just so everyone knows, probably one of the most biggest updates or biggest opportunities that will ever happen in the world of QuickBooks is now live to go and get yourself signed up. That's right, QuickBooks Intuit, Intuit Assist, which is QuickBooks's AI functionality, is now live for you to go and sign up. I've got a post that went live at 9:30, ready to go. Get yourself signed up, get yourself on the waiting list, get yourself in that beta.
Can we clarify what this is?
This is to get you in the waiting list for the beta. Yeah, but in fairness, it's because, as you expect, they want to make sure that the right people are on the beta that are going to have the right kind of thing.
Before with their betas.
But the fact that it's out there is exciting time. I mean, what we saw, when was it that we went on that?
A year for a waiting list to come out.
We saw how many patents was it? 1,000 patents. X amount of people was employed with it. This is going to be big. And one of the things that's different about this AI release for FMS solutions compared to the rest is this is built from the ground up by Intuit. It's called GenOS. It's very, very, very exciting times. I don't think, like we've already said, when it comes to AI and IFMS, there's probably not going to be a bigger update that we've had for a long time. What excites me more about Intuit, if I'm completely honest, is not only the update they can do to QuickBooks, but the MailChimp one as well. I think that is a value add to your client, given if it works as intended, the potential is that you could recommend to your client to use MailChimp going forward. If they can increase their sales because of this AI technology, that's like the best, value add you can ever ask, isn't it?
Yeah. So you know me, I like to be factual here.
Yes, go for it.
You can now sign up to a waiting list for the beta.
Yes.
You will then be verified
for the UK.
For the UK.
Well. Yeah.
You'll then be verified that you are actually a good beta tester, and not that it usually bothers them. They'll put you in, right? What functionality is there today? If I registered for the waiting list and they, for some miraculous reason, they turn around and go, you're straight in, no problems. What functionality is there today? Because again, I'm getting fed up of these AI software selling us dreams. I want to know what's there and usable today.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, that's under embargo, so we can't talk about that element of it.
The only embargo that's lifted is that we've got a waiting list.
But it means it's there, though, right? Like you're signing up to Intuit Assist. Like,
but what does it do?
Same as the waiting list for my Sage Copilot as well, isn't it? Right? We don't know exactly what we're going to get out of it, but it's always worth
it. Waiting list went months and months and months ago. That went live back in May. Yeah,
but we also know that we're not the right people for it, so we've not been accepted for it, right? So, like, that's the whole point.
Anyone's been able to do it since the summer. We don't need to wait for a waiting list anymore. But
you sign up.
You
sign up for it, but you're not guaranteed access, right? That's how
we knew what the functionality was we were trying to sign up for. What's the functionality of QuickBooks Intuit?
Because they haven't released it for all.
They've been demoing it for months.
I still don't think they have. I don't think it's properly out there. But anyway,
they did a huge amount of demos at Accountex of it on big stages. Like it's there. What is in Intuit Assist?
Well, we've already got the videos. You can go and look at the sign up page. You can see the videos that are there. And
those videos that are on there, is those features going to be available in the beta test?
That's what the plan is. Yeah.
I mean, that's all I'm asking. Is or are they doing an Apple and showing you what's going to be available in a year's time?
Yeah, but we've already had this conversation. We would prefer to wait for it to come out properly than rush it through the door, right? Like, we don't want that. How long have you waited for? Because I still can't get
to get from an announcement at a roadshow to a waiting list.
Yeah.
How long am I waiting?
But that's good. That's how you want it to be. You want this to be done properly. Like, at what point do you want this to be a let's just release something that's broken? Like, other solutions out there that's released things that are completely broken, and from a communication point of view is let's replace the accountant. We don't want that. That's not what we want AI to do. We want AI to be there to actually see it and actually play with it and actually enjoy it, right? I'm excited. I mean, look, the fact that we can actually get that a little bit closer to
it's not the SIF Analytics way though, is it? SIF Analytics just went buff. There's AI.
I think this is going to do a lot more than SIF Analytics does, though.
I don't know, SIF Analytics is bloody phenomenal.
Not now Xero's got it. What are they going to do?
So they'll have to start removing functionality.
Yeah, they're going to want it to be JAX going forward, right? Like, that is their AI push. So, yeah, if it's not got the JAX branding on it, SIF Analytics are not going to be, I imagine, not going to be allowed to utilize their AI going forward. Do you want JAX in your SIF Analytics?
Yeah, it's not a waiting list I'll be signing up for.
Why not? This is you're the one who has
already got it all in SIF Analytics, and I've got it for all of my clients on Free Agent, QuickBooks, and Xero because it's there, and it's more powerful than what QuickBooks is going to give me on a beta. I mean, but it's more powerful than a waiting list.
That's just looking at it from an analytics point of view. What about the other functionality that's coming with?
Such as?
So again, I can't talk about the actual ins and outs, but you've seen the videos. You can see them for yourself. Like, look,
all the videos I've seen are analytical, and I can get that in SIF Analytics.
But it's not just analytics. So like, we've seen the concept of sending emails in and it replying to emails and all that sort of stuff for us, right? Like, that is the function.
On that. That's just a rehash of what Microsoft and Google and Apple Intelligence already do.
Yeah, but that's using Apple Intelligence, Microsoft, or Google. This is using it directly in your QuickBooks FMS solution, isn't it? Like, that's going to be the thing. This is all about trying to make it so that we actually have proper context to it. I'm not being funny, but if I ask I love Microsoft Copilot, brilliant. I've signed up for it. I paid the money for it. If I go and ask them to go and do something to do with my QuickBooks, I don't think it's going to be able to do what I want, or I don't think I'd trust it either, right? Let's go and ask it to, I don't know, add a convert an estimate for me. It's going to struggle, isn't it? Like, this is what this is.
Press of a button.
Yeah, but what are you doing it for?
No.
But it's a press of a button for us because we know what we're doing. What about for the consumer? Like, the ability for the consumer.
It's a press of a button. Like, I've got clients that convert constantly.
When we're opening it up to sole trader.
Back to the overall AI chat of, give us AI that genuinely adds value.
Mm-hmm.
So I've already got AI in Copilot, in Apple Intelligence, whatever, that will read, summarize, and propose a response for an email.
Yeah.
I've already got AI in the form of SIF Analytics that will read all the financials, analyze them, give me conversation points, bring my attention to key areas.
Mm-hmm.
And because I'm not a QuickBooks only firm,
there's still two different languages, though, aren't they? Language models.
But telling me going, I'm going to have to press a button to give Intuit Assist the command to convert an estimate to an invoice.
As one of the examples. There's many others, but yes.
But I'm just pressing a different button when I'd have just pressed the button over there instead.
But it's not. But it'll also be able to send the email out. It's going to go through. Like, there's going to be so much going through. Like,
save and send. It's a button. Like, why do I need AI to press that for me?
honestly, Jan, if you're the person telling me that AI is not going to be beneficial for FMS solutions, we've got a problem here,
That
right?
use case is absolutely pants.
But we don't know yet. We've not tried it.
I've given you actual examples today of how AI it saves me tons of time. I was able to cover meetings for my team member using AI. I mean, I've been playing with a bleeding AI avatar video creating thing. It's incredible. That's valuable AI. Me pressing one button on AI so it presses another button somewhere else. That's not efficiency gained.
But that's the one of the options I could talk about, because that's actually public knowledge, right? Like, you know yourself, there's embargoes in place for a reason, right? So there has to be an element of
good news, guys. We can talk about a waiting list now.
Yeah, because I promise you want to be on that waiting list. I can guarantee you 100% that you want to be on that waiting list, right? Because of the stuff that will unlock. Very much same as why people want to be on the Copilot, the Sage Copilot waiting list, right? No one wants to be on the Jax waiting list. That's a different story. But, you know.
But you're talking about a waiting list that's not been in place for months. Because
it's not ready. Why would you release something when it's not ready? I don't understand the logic of let's just get something out there. Like, we've got to get this right. We've said this time and time again. This has to be right. Apple Intelligence isn't just being released willy-nilly. It is being released at the right time, at a pace that they know they can then implement it to make it work, right? If they'd have just released it the day after, it'd have been pants and no one would have used it. Simple as that. They'd have gone, so it's just no difference to Siri. They need to make it better than what Siri is. That's what they've got to do here, right? Like, we can't, these sort of things are not something we could just literally launch overnight. They have to be built.
More the fanfare over, it will do this for you, but that's not efficiency saved, because I've got I would have just gone and pressed that button. It's that,
but
the fanfare needs to be about the right things.
But you know yourself, right? When Copilot for Microsoft was announced, you didn't jump straight on it, because the fanfare was, it'll do this, it'll do that, it'll do this. It wasn't until you had someone using it saying, oh, here's a use case where it's really, really powerful, that you went, actually, now I'm going to sign up for it. And that's how it's going to work. Same with the Apple Vision Pro, right? You were tempted to get it at one point. Yeah, you were really tempted to get it at one point until you saw me use it and went, there's no use case for it now, because it's user experience that makes you go, actually, that's why I should sign up for it, or that's why I should use it.
I look forward to your videos on Intuit Assist, trying to convince me.
I mean, at least I've got one target audience to try and convince, right? I mean, everyone else will be fine. Let's see if I can convert. At least there's a video there.
So long to get to this point, to the waiting list point, I should flag that there's other tools already out there that I'm struggling to see anything Intuit Assist could give me. And we have to remember that I'm not a QuickBooks only firm. I've got clients on Free Agent and Xero, so I need a tool that looks at all of them.
Yeah.
So that's why SIF Analytics is so phenomenal for me, because it looks at all of my clients and it gives me the same insights, the same conversation point power on all of those reports. If I've got to go to Jax, I've got to go to Intuit QuickBooks, I've got to go to, if Free Agent ever did something, Sage Copilot, it's not going
to. Ironically, though, aren't you just saying that you're now having to use Jax across all of your firm? Not sure that's what you want to be doing, is it? Because
I'm using SIF Analytics across all of my firms,
which is going to be Jax. There is no way that Xero's acquired them and not going to stick that Jax element to it. Like, that's got to be the acquisition part of it had to be okay, but you're going to have to use Jax going forward, because that's their marketing tool. That is their baby, right? Like, rightly or wrongly, that's their shining, jewel at this point in time. So what you're saying is you're happy for Jax to go against your whole firm, which scares me a little bit. That's your choice.
That's the problem. Like, SIFs have sold up, and that is a cause of concern. But until they email me, tell me their terms and conditions have changed, I'm going to carry on.
Yeah. I get it. All I'm saying to everyone out there is this is exciting, very exciting. It's not very often I get excited about, releases and stuff. This one is very excited. I'm not even that, I'm not sat there upset that I can't get access to Apple Intelligence, and I could put the beta on if I wanted to, but I'm waiting for the proper release for that one. I'm not jumping the gun on that one. I'm confident enough that when it comes out, it's going to be more than enough of an impact for me. But this one is, for Intuit Assist is I want to be there day one. Like, I'm that excited about it. I can't wait to properly use it, get it all going there. So yeah, excitement all around. And I think you should get yourself signed up for the waiting list. And if you want to know more about it, go watch one of my videos I've released at 9:30 a.m. And you can see more about it there. Quickly, let's go through the community because we're already late. So Cheryl says, unable to write a check when we have something goes wrong or breaks. So talking about the free agent update, maybe?
No, talking about budget.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Good point. Stephanie says, every one of my clients is worried about the budget. Yep. They've also all reduced their spending, which has affected the economy. Exactly right. Paul says, having two budgets have helped with the pressure of change, but didn't Labour suggest going back to one a year?
Yep.
Potentially. Always late to the party, says Ashley. Is it a party today, guys? Is Max going to win the F1? How would that be a party, Ashley? I think you read the room incorrectly there. Trust me, Max winning is not a party environment. Danielle says, hi blokes, hello to you. Abdul says, good to see the hero behind the heroes, reference to the video we did. And your post is live, Aaron. Yep, so the embargo hopefully was okay. Hopefully it was 9:30. It's too late now. We went live, so it's all good. I had a demo account of Sage Copilot, says Stephanie. So yeah, which is great. But this argument will come back next week where we talk about why AI is actually useful for your practice. And hopefully we can convince you that AI is good and not just a fad that someone in this room may be thinking is at the moment. So there we are.
It's not even a fad, it's a waiting list. Like, why have we got a fanfare about a waiting list?
I've got a fanfare because I'm excited because I believe this will be the biggest change that happens to the world of QuickBooks going forward. And yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We will see.
I'll just put it out there.
Hey, their changes are coming. Their changes are coming.
No confidence in anything QuickBooks launch at this moment in time because they've not launched anything properly in bloody years. Everything they've launched is Sole Trader.
They've listened to the feedback. They're going to make the changes. So yeah,
in 2028.
Yeah, before the release, we're going to be in a good place. Right, people. On that bombshell, that is the end of Ask the Accountant. Sorry, it's gone over a little bit longer than normal. We still maintain our numbers though, so yeah, we've still got people listening in, so that's always
enjoy your waiting list.
Yeah, enjoy your waiting list. I am going to enjoy my waiting list. I'm going to be signing up multiple times if I can because I'm excited for it. Can't wait for this to come out and we'll see it from there. So it is a goodbye from me.
And a goodbye from me. Sorry, I was too busy trying to type my name into a waiting list. No, I wasn't.
He'll get on that waiting list, don't you worry. We'll convince him, everyone. We will convince him. I think hashtag Johann on that waiting list will get trending.
I think just software's releasing tools when they're ready and getting on with it. Like, yeah. We don't need waiting lists. We just need the product to be actually delivered. In any software.
When you develop software, I feel like there's a very narrow-minded approach when you think about that.
When did we last do a waiting list at Engager, other than for labs events? Because we just got on with the product and released it.
Yeah, but nothing as big as an AI integration, which could if they get this wrong, they are going to have problems. And that's any product out there. If you release AI wrong, you're going to have problems. You've got to do it right. You've got to do it right. So,
I don't think they'll release it wrong. I don't think we've got any security risks or anything like that. I'm confident that'll be all nailed.
But if it doesn't do any benefits, what's the point of releasing? No one will use it.
Exactly.
So they've got to get it out there where it's actually going to have tangible benefits, tangible use, get the communication right. Yeah, we got to get this right.
Everything I've seen in the public domain doesn't give me any confidence. Doesn't say it's got tangible benefits at this moment in time. But it's all right because you're going to be on a new mailing list.
Yeah, and on that mailing list you'll find all the goodness that it can do, so I'm happy. Right, people, that's it. Technically a public roadmap is waiting list. I'm not sure about that, Paul. I like you trying to defend, but I'm not sure about that, Paul. Right, everyone, we are well over budget, well over time, so we are going to say goodbye to you all. Thanks again for listening in. We've got some really exciting stuff coming in 2 weeks' time at ICB, so keep an eye on socials of how that's going to work. We're very excited. Thanks for everyone for joining in. It's been a very lively event, and we're 20 minutes over, so goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye for now. Bye.